Energy person. So when I go woo, I'm gonna need y'all to woo back. Give me something like, can we give him another round of applause with some noise? Yes, energy. Ashe. So our theme for today is power of the possibilities, right? And so it's important for us to keep in mind, like he said, there's a lot of things going on. But even when Dr. Carver was alive, right, there were a lot of things going on too. And so it's important for us to keep that spirit of innovation and keep that going. And speaking of innovation, we have the dean of our college who just walked in. So I would be remiss if the first Black lady dean of the College of Agriculture, Environment, and Nutrition Sciences of Tuskegee University, can we make some noise for her as she comes up here to say hello. Yeah, you can keep clapping until she get up here. It's okay. You can go, woo, woo. Yes.
As always, thank you, Kendall, the plug. Well, of course, it is my pleasure as Dean of the College of Ag, Environment, and Nutrition Sciences to be here with you all today. This programming is so important, and the legacy of George Washington Carver is so important that we continue to carry on. And so we cannot do anything with regard to that legacy if you all are not here. So I just want to bring acknowledgement to all of our faculty and staff and students from the college and the university who are here to continue to make sure that we are reaching out into the communities, that we're impacting the community, and that we're working with the community to have that impact. No one is an island. Nothing can be done with one entity alone. And so it's important that we're working with everyone, including all of our collaborators, to make sure that the legacy of Carver and the important work that is needed in our communities takes place. So thank you all for having me, and we're so excited to have you all here today.
I say, thank you. Everybody say thank you, Dr. V.
Thank you, Dr. V.
Yes. All right, real quick, before we have the wonderful Miss Chanel Edwards and the Youth AI team come up, I do want to take some time to acknowledge who all is in the space, right? So if you are a staff or faculty member of Tuskegee University, can you make some noise, wave your hand so people can see you? All right. If you're a student at the university or a student at a university, make some noise. Okay, if you're a vendor, could y'all wave your hands and make some noise? Or entrepreneur. All right, and then community, if you're from the community, if you're from Montgomery, if you're from the Black Belt, can you make some noise? All right, so I have a quick request, right? Nobody was in all four categories, right? So before you go, make sure you have a conversation with someone. Get your extension agent's information, because a lot of times y'all be asking me questions, and all I'm gonna do is ask them the questions, right? So skip the middleman. Get to know somebody new. Get in community, and this is how it happens. So with that being said, let's give a round of applause for our extension agents coming on up here. Everybody say, hey, Miss Edwards. All right. There you go.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon.
Y'all clap. Y'all got to stand up here. Y'all got to give me some energy back, okay? Can we give them another round of applause? All right, so I'm going to be sprinkling in a couple of fun facts throughout our time together about Dr. Carver. Some people know these things, some people may not know these things, and maybe some you heard but didn't know the specifics around. And so one interesting thing is around his birthday, right? Who knows his birthday? Does anyone here know what day he was born? No, no, but good guess. That's actually the Carver Day. That's National Carver Day. And that's a day that people think, but actually nobody knows what day he was born. But we do know that he was born in 1864. Everybody say 1864.
1864.
All right, that is the year that Dr. Carver was born. And we all know he was nicknamed the Plant Doctor, but that's not a name that was bestowed upon him when he came to Tuskegee. That's a name that he got from when he was a child, because he was so interested in plants. He was also a very spiritual person. So all throughout his life, he would meditate and go out in the garden and for his morning prayers. And on that meditative walk, that's where he would notice things outside about nature that would inspire him to ask more questions. And those questions would later in his life land him in laboratories, right? So can we say curiosity? All right, Carver was always curious, right? And that's why he was nicknamed the Plant Doctor. He was also the first Black student accepted to Simpson College in Indianola, Iowa, and then he later transferred to Iowa State. So we do have an interesting relationship with them, Iowa State University, because of that fact. And so I'm going to be sprinkling in a couple of more things later on, but I'm doing this because there may or may not be a trivia later on. And you may or may not be getting some giveaways based on your ability to answer these questions. So, if you listening, that's cool. If not, I don't know what to tell you. But we're going to move on to our next demonstration with Miss Tamika King and Miss Jamila Arrington, who will be showing us about, everybody heard of loofah? Raise your hand and make some noise if you heard of loofahs. I learned how to spell it by looking at this paper. So can we give them a round of applause as they make their way up here? All right. I don't know if folks had been driving by over the last few months, but it was a whole bunch of green stuff all along the gate that was basically taking over this entire perimeter. And people was like, are those cucumbers? What are those? Is they pickles? Like, no, they're loofah, right? And so when they grow, they're green, and then you got to wait for them to dry, but that's just a really dope alternative. And so even in the spirit of entrepreneurship and innovation, right, if you're someone who may make soaps or something like that, this could be a dope thing that you can grow in your garden. You make your own soaps, you can literally pour it in there, get your money up. In this economy, you need at least 3 streams of income, y'all. So figure it out, make that hobby a hustle, but put it together how you need to. And with that being said, we're going to have a demonstration up next by our A&R team on container gardening and a demonstration. So can we give them a round of applause? They got a whole setup for y'all. And also, A&R stands for Ag and Natural Resources, right? So for the folks who are trying to figure out, how do I get my garden popping? My soil is talking to me, but I don't know what it's saying. These would be some of the people that you would want to ask and direct those questions to. So I'm going to hand you the mic. Girl, get on in there. Mediums or containers that you can grow in that are non-toxic and safe enough for the youth to garden or have access to.
Yes. Okay. So.
And Mr. Hunter?
Yes.
The mic is over here.
Back to the mic. Thank you. So to answer that question, we have a person here with great organic knowledge, and I'm not passing the book, but I will link you up with him before we leave today, and we'll get you an answer right here today.
What's his name?
His name is Dr. Franklin Corcoran.
Where he at?
Yeah, I'm gonna find him in a second. I saw him earlier.
He right there.
But I will link you up with
Dr. Corcoran.
Dr. Corcoran.
Say hey.
Hey, so we have a question here on the floor. Not putting you on the spot, but can you answer this question for us, please?
A question around what are some safe containers to grow in for young babies or like youth or whatever? That could be anything, any type of container, but maybe something that we would want to especially stay away from or especially use because of its friendliness. Organic.
Okay, so the organic community is now very worried about PFAS, types of plastic stuff that is known to be carcinogenic and other stuff. So if you are going to use any kind of plastic, go for plastics that have labels that indicate that they don't have a high level of
PFAS.
Or they've been some plastic manufacturers are better than others in trying to avoid those consequences.
Okay. All right. So I know a lot of times too on containers they'll say like BPA free or no PFAS and stuff. So I think those are some of the symbols that you would want to look for. And then even, my grandfather, he's from Arkansas, moved to Chicago, less than like a 6th grade education, but he used to grow in like leather boots and stuff like that, like different things that if you would feel comfortable with putting it on your body or near your body, then 9 times out of 10, let me say 8 times out of 10, don't quote me, it should be decent enough for the garden. Does that answer your question? Find that doctor. Everybody say, find that doctor. Yes. That's y'all said it for real. That's what I'm talking about. I appreciate that. So real quick, we're going to have the beautiful Dawn come up from the Garden Club. Let's make a round of applause. Oh yeah, here she goes.
Hello, everyone.
After the program, we'll be giving tours on that as well.
Yes, yes. Can we give the students another round of applause, please? Out here in community doing the work. Just so y'all know, Garden Club, there are a couple of people who are looking for support with installing their garden. So I'm telling them, come find y'all, just so y'all know. Baby extension agents in the training, in the making. So next up, okay, I'm like, where'd you go? Next up, we will have Dr. Billy Grant with a workforce development demonstration. So let's give her a round of applause. I need a little more. Let's give her a round of applause. Yeah. Woo, that's what I'm talking about.
That's right.
Yeah, do it for me. Y'all knew it was coming. Y'all knew it was coming. But before we get to our main event with Dr. Bernard and his students, I want to give you all some more fun facts so you stand a chance in winning something in this trivia later on. So I want everybody to say Jessup Wagon. Jessup Wagon. Who knows what the Can someone tell me what the Jessup Wagon was? You go ahead, girl. Tell me what it is. You threw your hand up now. Come on. What is it? You could enunciate from there. Okay, that's close. That's close. It was the movable school. That is correct. What's up?
Carver financed it, and like she said, it was a portable way to educate people on how to do agriculture practices.
That's right. Now they definitely fundraised to get that movable school up and running. That is a true thing too. He did have good relationships with Henry Ford and stuff like that, so I know that he got funding that way. But essentially, so it's kind of like a twofold part to the story, right? So that's part of what makes Tuskegee University so important and so powerful when we talk about cooperative extension. Everybody say cooperative extension. I need y'all to say it with some excitement. Say cooperative extension. Exactly. Who can tell me what cooperative extension is? Make me stare at an agent. Yes, Miss King, what is cooperative extension?
Basic scientific learning skills that has been basically through statistics that's showing them how to learn.
Exactly. So every single county in the United States has cooperative extension agents. And those agents work with different universities across the country to bring information to the people that is researched and statistically proven, right? And so a lot of people may know what cooperative extension is, but they may not know that it was founded at Tuskegee University, right? So can everyone say Thomas Monroe Campbell? Okay, that's a big dog. I'm gonna need y'all to say that with some I need Thomas Monroe Campbell. Ashe. So Thomas M. Campbell, he was the first, I'm gonna say the first extension agent, because technically they did induct another man on the same day somewhere else who was of a lighter complexion. Maybe just to say that, you know, Thomas won first. But we ain't gonna talk about that right now. We can talk about that another time offline, off the mic. But Thomas Monroe Campbell was the protege of Dr. George Washington Carver. So he was the first extension agent. And what made him the extension agent was the fact that a portion of his check came from the federal government, and then it was matched by Tuskegee University. So that federal public-private partnership is what made extension. And it was the first time that Tuskegee really got that type of, well, I won't say the first time, but one of the most important legislative acts of support that we got from the federal government, right? Which was having cooperative extension be created off of the model that was started by Dr. George Washington Carver and the movable school, right? Known as the Jessup Wagon. Actually, it's called Jessup Wagon because it was a Jessup who funded it. The man's name was Jessup. That's why it's called that. And so, yes, everyone say 1906. I know there's some alphas out here who would be screaming right now. Wow, okay, y'all was really here. But that is the first year that the Jessup wagon was officially commissioned. So there would be 3 different people on that wagon. It would be what we know today as Family Consumer Sciences, and then what we know as A&R. So a lot of the programs that are still running through cooperative extension to this day come from the practices that George Washington Carver and Booker T. Washington collaborated on to uplift people throughout the Black Belt counties. So can we make some noise for history? It's Black History Month. I need to, yeah, let's get excited. Let's get excited. Our people have done so much. And a lot of people may not know this about him either, but before he was a world-renowned scientist, he was an artist and painter first. And in fact, Dr. Carver was very much interested in a career in art. He wanted to be an artist, but he had a teacher who told him, like, I'm gonna be real with you, black man. You're a black man, and art may not be where you can get the most support for someone of your caliber, especially because he had entered art into the World's Fair that took place in Chicago, where I'm actually from. And if you go on campus right now, you'll actually be able to see one of his paintings that he actually made. And it got deeper as his science and his love of nature grew. He started to make his own paints, his own colors, and his own pigments, and even painted with that. So, you know, he was a scientist, but I would argue that he was an artist first. He was a creative first. And through that realm of creativity and his relationship with nature and his relationship with spirit, he became the scientist and innovator that we know today. So having said that, we got this real scary robot dog in the corner that's about to come walk towards us and do things. I'm a little scared, but you shouldn't be. So let's make a round of I was too excited. Let me slow down. See, I told you this dog got me scared. Can we give Dr. Bernard and his students a round of applause? See, look, here it come. I'm about to sit down. Let me run away.
Thank you all. Thank you all for coming.
On out here, and then we'll have our leadership team come up and say a few words, and then I will do this trivia to see who about to win these 4 prizes. I know we hear a lot about Carver being the peanut man, and he did make a lot of things. In fact, what we know is 325 uses for peanuts and 108 applications for sweet potatoes. But that's not necessarily including peanut butter. A lot of people think he made peanut butter. He did not make peanut butter. I need my people to know that, okay? Booker T. Washington invited Carver to oversee the agricultural department at then Tuskegee Institute in 1896. Everybody say 1896. Y'all got to do y'all hands like that. Say 1896. Okay. My man been in the streets for a while. You know what I'm saying? And then finally, if you don't know, Dr. George Washington Carver is actually buried on the campus of Tuskegee University. And he's buried right next to Booker T. Washington. So if you've never been on campus, definitely pull up for the Farmers Conference, February 19th and 20th. And pull on campus and check it out. It's definitely a beautiful place. And Carver even has a bench located right in front of his grave because he wanted students to come by and sit with him and talk to him and ask him questions even after he was gone. So you won't be weird. It's not weird having a conversation with your ancestor. He said the bench is there because he wants you to come talk. So make sure you pull up on campus and have a chat with Carver. And with that, do we have anybody from the leadership team who would like to come up and say a couple words?